Hey guys, welcome back. So the Strike Freedom Gundam is finally complete. I hope you guys like it. I personally like this kit a lot. I think it is a really good Gundam kit or gunpowder kit straight out from the box. As you can see, the color separations are pretty good. I haven't done any airbrushing or recoloring on the model. What you see is pretty much straight out from the box. What I've done is basically cut out all the parts from the runners, and then I gave most of the parts a bit of polishing, and I also added the panel lines once the Gundam is partially complete. So basically just to tidy up the cut marks or the knobs and any mold lines. I tried my best to correct them or hide them with some filing. So there is no additional color added. The only thing that I've added is just a few stickers that came with the kit, and everything else is pretty much standard. So what you can see in front of you is the Strike Freedom Gundam standing on its own on the spinning top. The rear dragoons, they are quite heavy, so from the side profile you can see I'm bending the lower leg quite backwards in order to counterbalance the Gundam, but you will have no issues trying to balance the Gundam to make it stand like this one. Or alternatively, you can also put the Gundam on a action base as well, which possibly is what most of us would prefer because it gives us more freedom to put the Strike Freedom Gundam in different poses rather than just standing on the ground, so the posture would be quite limited. So as you can see, the only thing I have attached to the Strike Freedom Gundam is just the beam shield on the left hand. The kit also comes with two beam for the beam sabers, which I haven't cut out, but if you remember the sprue, this is actually identical to the two beams that came with the RX-78-2, which I have borrowed it from the RX-78. So they are these two. They are exactly the same as these two that came with the Strike Freedom. So I could always use this and attach the beams to the beam sabers that is attached at the back of the Strike Freedom, which is around here, as you can see, right before the dragoons. So the Gundam itself is quite colorful, as you can see. The only sticker or stickers that I have attached are the eyes at the front. You will see the eyes has the yellow color with the black outlines, as well as the two camera sensor above the eyes, and one more at the back, which are all very small stickers, but if you use a very sharp craft knife or a toothpick, you will be able to attach them quite easily, and you might need to adjust it a few times to get it to sit properly, as accurate as possible, because the stickers are quite tiny, so it can be quite tricky to handle. But if you give it time and have patience, then you will have no issues aligning those stickers correctly. And apart from the head unit, there are also stickers or color correction stickers which are attached at the dragoon. So those gold bits at the top corner of the dragoons, they are stickers, so there are 8 of them altogether. And you will also see there are some gold parts for the hinges. So those are actual runner's color, so you don't have to put stickers on them. They came in gold color, just like the hands, as well as the beam cannon up below the chest. So on the color correction stickers, there are another 2 areas that you have to attach the stickers provided, and they are for the beam rifle, which is here. So the metallic blue surrounding and the outline of the beam rifle, so those are stickers. And as I mentioned earlier, those stickers are quite precisely cut, and they do line up with the actual cannons and the indentation very accurately, so you just need to take your time to get them right. You probably will have once or twice opportunities to get it right. If you keep peeling off the stickers, then you might end up damaging the stickers, or the stickers might not stick after a little while. But I managed to get all of those metallic blue outlines on the beam rifles right the first time, so I was quite lucky. Even the gold stickers at the back of the dragoons, they are quite easy to attach as well. And even though if you laid the sticker not 100% accurate, once you stick it on, you can always adjust it slightly with your thumb, so it gives you that freedom to adjust the position of the stickers slightly, so you can get them as accurate as possible. So it's pretty easy to do. Out of all of the stickers that came with the kit, I would say the hardest parts are to attach those tiny stickers on the head unit. It does take a bit of time to get it right, but if you're patient, then you will definitely get it 100% accurate the first or second time. And another thing that I forgot to mention, that little red tip on the beam rifle, or the underside of the beam rifle, which is there, that is also a color correction sticker, and everything else are the molded color that comes with the runners. So in terms of the color of the Strike Freedom, I think it is really, really good. I really like it. I just can't wait to build my real grade of the Strike Freedom as well. That one would have more parts, so there should be more details, as well as slightly better articulation on the real grade. This one is just a high grade, but I think even high grade, it looks pretty damn good. Don't you guys agree? And especially, I haven't done any airbrushing, and the outcome of the Strike Freedom is already, it looks really, really good. I have to say, I really, really like it. So the real grade will no doubt be better. Hopefully I won't mess up anything during the building process. The parts could be quite intricate and might be hard to handle, but I will be sure to take my time when building the real grade. So some additional work that I have done, apart from a straight build, is to polish the parts, as I mentioned before. That doesn't take too long, because I just use a really fine file just to buff the surface of the armors and other parts on the Gundam. And the other major things that I have done, you guys may or may not have noticed, is the V antennas. I have cut the round tips off, just so the V antennas look a bit sharper and more pointy. When you cut the parts out from the runners, you will see there are 2 knobs that attach to the end of the antennas. It's just to make it slightly blunt, so you don't poke your eyes with the parts. But I have cut them out because I think the V-shaped antennas look nicer when they are sharp. I did file the pointy bits after I cut them out, so they look shiny, but they are not too sharp. That would cause any damage to my fingers, but it is something that you could do when you're building this Strike Freedom Gundam as well. And the other thing that I've added are just the panel lines. They are quite easy to add. The rear Dragoon, I haven't added any panel lines because they are relatively dark colors already, so even if I add the panel lines, it doesn't bring out the details, you know, that much better in comparison to without. The beam shield, I haven't done anything apart from cutting it out from the runner and then gave it, well, just the outline, a little bit of polish. I don't want to polish the main surface because I want to keep it glossy and shiny, as you can see. The body armors, I have polished most of them to have that semi-gloss and half matte effect. The panel lines, just going back to that point, there isn't that many panel lines that you could add the details. Some of them you might need to use the scriber to create or recreate the panel lines, but I was being lazy because this is just a high grade, so I didn't want to spend too much time and effort in building this Gundam, so I have only added the panel lines where I find is possible to do so. Some of the indentation and curve that I know I won't have any success in adding panel lines, I just missed them out. So I hope you guys still like it. I definitely like this model quite a lot. So what you can see is just the Strike Freedom standing, well, freestanding without the Dragoon or any other panels open. So in a second I will try to change the posture. Maybe I will put on some of the weapons just to give it a more dynamic pose. So for now, I will let you guys appreciate the finishing of the Strike Freedom straight out from the box with minimal of effort, and then I will show you with a different posture after that. So enjoy. So the first position I want to show you is basically repositioning the rear Dragoon so that they are sitting at an angle rather than sitting flat like how I displayed it earlier. So now you can see the Dragoons are half folded and it looks slightly better when you pose the Gundam sideways. And again, as I mentioned, if you bend the lower leg slightly backwards, then the Strike Freedom Gundam will be able to counterbalance itself and you won't have any issues freestanding the Gundam on its own without any action base, and the Gundam still look pretty good. So now let me change it to a different position for you guys. Here you can see the Strike Freedom Gundam in a different pose. I have changed out the open hand to the closed fist and holding the two beam sabers. And I have also bent the right knee to show you the double joint. And I'm sure you guys would appreciate the articulation of the Strike Freedom in this pose as well. And now you can see the full articulation of the Strike Freedom by kneeing down. I've bent the left knee with the double joint, and I have also bent the right knee backwards, and also the right foot to tip backwards as well. And I have also took out the 2-beam rifle from the side skirting, and I'm not sure if you guys like this position, but definitely the Strike Freedom Gundam has no issue with posing kneeing down, and it does look quite dynamic as well. I really like it. So let me change the position of the Strike Freedom again, and I will come back to you guys shortly. So here I have combined the 2-beam rifle to become a longer rifle, and I have also changed out the left closed hand to the open hand to support the longer beam rifle. I've also changed the posture of the Strike Freedom, so you can see the double bending right knee as well as the straighten up left legs. I have also borrowed the tips of the rear dragoon to help to support the Strike Freedom to stand properly, otherwise it is going to lean backward quite a lot because the rear dragoons are quite heavy. But if you are planning to put the Gundam on the action base, then you don't have to worry about that. You can put on whatever position you would like, and I'm sure the Strike Freedom will look good on the action base as well. But if you are having limited space inside your display cabinet and you will have to freestand your Strike Freedom, then do make use of the rear dragoon to help you stand up the Strike Freedom, just like what I'm doing here. You can see there is one additional contacting point at the back. So I hope you guys like this position as well, and I am going to open up the rear dragoon to show you guys the details as well. Bear with me 1 second. So here we have the rear dragoons fully opened, and the Strike Freedom Gundam with the open arms as well. I think this pose looks really good, and mainly because of the open dragoons effect. It makes the Strike Freedom Gundam look quite a bit larger and taller. You may notice the gold element parts are missing from the dragoon in between the light blue and the darker blue parts. That is because this Strike Freedom Gundam is only a high grade, so if you would like to see the gold element parts in between the dragoons, you will have to purchase either the real grade, the master grade extreme, or even the perfect grade in order to get those gold parts in between the dragoons. But this high grade comes without them, but I think once the dragoons are open, it still looks really good. It makes the Strike Freedom Gundam looks a lot more aggressive, and it also changes the dynamic of the pose a lot. It makes the Strike Freedom Gundam look wider and taller, and I really like this position a lot. In terms of freestanding, this is pretty much like the first pose that I've shown you in the video, as long as you keep the dragoons closer to the back or the back side of the lower legs and bend the lower leg slightly backwards, then you will be able to balance the Strike Freedom to stand on its own without tipping over. So I hope you guys like this position as well. What I'm going to do next is to keep the dragoons opened, and I will also open up the rear panels for the legs, and I will also unfold this beam cannon around the waist, and I will also put the 2 beam rifles on the Strike Freedom Gundam as well, and I'll see if I could also put the beam shield on as well. So I'll come back to you guys very shortly. So finally, we have the waist folded beam cannon unfold. As you can see, there's one on each side of the waist. I have left the rear dragoons fully opened. I have opened the panels behind the lower legs, so you can see there's more details on it. I have changed out the open hands to the closed hands in order to display the 2 beam rifles as well. I've also attached the beam shield to the left hand. So I hope you guys like this Gundam kit. I really like it, to be totally honest. If you guys like it, I would definitely recommend you to get yourself one to add to your collections. And if you guys are very specific with the details of the Strike Freedom Gundam, then I could also recommend you to get the real grade, the master grade, or master grade extreme, and even the perfect grade if you guys have the space to display the Strike Freedom. So even though this is a high grade, I think Bandai has done a really good job in recreating this model kit. As you can see from the color separations, the kit are pretty much fully colored. All you need to do is to add the panel lines and to attach the stickers which comes with the model kit, and you will pretty much achieve this level of details on the Strike Freedom Gundam. And if you guys are going to display the Strike Freedom Gundam with the action base, then I'm sure your Gundam will look even better than this one, which is just standing on the spinning top, because with the action base you will be able to pull some amazing poses on the Strike Freedom in order to show off the articulation. But for me, I think this position is pretty damn good. I really like it. The color separation is really good. The Gundam itself look amazing. The rear dragoons is super awesome once they are fully opened. The only things that you guys might need to be aware of are just these very small parts that you cut out from the runners. Make sure you build your Gundam in a space that you know you will be able to find any parts that you drop. I actually managed to drop the very small red parts in between the V antennas, and it took me a little while to find it on the floor. So make sure you guys be careful when you are attaching that small red parts in between the V frame or the V antennas. That part is very small and it's hard to look for it once you dropped it. And I would recommend you to add a small bit of glue in order to secure that part, make sure it doesn't fall out in the future. And everything else is quite sturdy. I haven't experienced any loose parts as such. This being a high grade, I'm not sure how long those hinges would last. I know some Gundam builders complain about certain Gundam kit with the joints would end up being really loose after a certain period of time. I don't know if it's something to do with the weather in your country, but I think mine so far, as well as the Gundams that I've built before, they all seems to be okay. So I might be just lucky with them. and I also don't play with the Gundam too much once they are done. I just leave them in the display cabinets, so that might help. So finally, if you guys like this Gundam, I would definitely recommend you to go and get one. And until the next video, have fun with your model collection as well as the model building, and I will see you guys next time. Take care guys, bye for now.